Hey Michelle, how are you? This is Don at Airbrush The Magazine.
I am good. How are you tonight, Don?
Doing great. Let me thank Tammy at Tamco Paint, Jack at Trulers, Ken at Fisheye Filters, and Donna at Maple Airbrush Supplies for helping make this all possible. And I'll explain real quick what these videos are. I'm going to be interviewing artists from all over the world, not only to promote and introduce you to new artists, but also to get some advice from them for people new to airbrushing and custom painting, and maybe some marketing your art tips. So Michelle is the second one, and I thank her for being here. Introduce
Thank you
yourself.
for asking me.
Introduce
My
yourself.
name is Michelle. My name is Michele Roe, and I'm located in Hillsboro, Ohio. I'm the owner and operator of Stab and Cabin Airbrushing. This year will mark my 8th year of airbrushing, and I absolutely love it. I'm totally addicted to it.
How did you get started? What made you want to airbrush?
Well, I've been a painter since the age of 13, and our whole family's always been crafting one way or another. And I had these ceramic figurines, and one day I said, it'd really be nice if I had an airbrush, try to figure it out and do my own crafts. Well, I got one, and just from there went, okay, well, it was the red Pache one.
Yeah.
So you're kind of limited what you can do with it.
Yeah, VL.
Yeah. And, finance-wise, didn't really have a lot, so I started Master G22 and learned a lot more with that. And then eventually, went to Badgers and Iwatas, and I still use Paches today.
Well, good. And how did you learn? Once you became interested, how did you learn how to use an airbrush?
Well, I'm from northern Michigan, so there was no access to anyone with any information whatsoever. So then I started Googling things on YouTube, and I watched hundreds of videos of Ed Hubbs. Constantly watched him, and I'm a very driven and determined person. So I just kept telling myself, if I can be half as good as what this man is, yeah, this would just be fantastic.
Ed is a great
and
guy.
Then he is. Yeah. And from there, I found a forum, the Orange Airbrush Forum. And a lot of those people are from all over the world. So I learned bits and pieces from them. And, like I said, watching Ed Hubbs' video, which is funny because now Ed and I are friends. So it's kind of a goofy thing, where I'm just like, oh, you were my hero one time.
He still is.
Yeah, he still is. He absolutely still is.
So what do you like to airbrush? What is your favorite surface?
I would have to say my favorite surface would be the metal panels. I do a lot of portrait work, and I've airbrushed on everything from a prosthetic leg, toilet seats, mailboxes. The mailboxes is the typical beginner's choice because it's an easy surface and
they're cheap.
They're a quick and easy thing to try to figure out. Yeah. And I'd always said that I would never paint anything that was bigger than me. And that didn't work out. No, I've painted thousands of golf carts. I've painted a boat, a helicopter. Trying to think what else I have. Oh, an RV.
Everything.
It's never ending. And then my latest was a car hauler. That was fun.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. But like I said, I would have to say the metal panels because they're so much easier to work with for me. Yeah. And I use Createx water-based paints. My favorite is the illustration set. And the reason why is because you can do so much more with the erasing and the scratching. Yeah. And it's a universal paint where I can paint on leather and then turn around and paint on a car.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what advice?
And I also use Tamco paints.
Yeah. So what advice would you have for somebody looking to start airbrushing or custom painting?
The advice that I would give someone, and I get this question often, I help a lot of people, as many people as I can on my phone. The advice I would say is to practice. Learn, the first thing that they need to learn is the trigger control. We've all been there. We've all made the same mistake. We put the paint in the cup and we just spray.
Right.
And can't figure out why it's spitting black, and we all seem to use black too. So we can't figure out why it's so dark and how everyone's getting these thin lines. And, I would get some stencils. Try working with the stencils. Learn the paint that you're using. And like with Createx, I don't use their what they require to reduce. I over-reduce my paint. It works a lot better for me.
Yeah.
I have more control over my airbrush gun and my paint flow, and that just seems to work better for me. So my advice would be, to learn your airbrush gun, practice the trigger control, and, learn the type of paints that you're using. Play around with it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah. For other experienced airbrushers, have you got any tips on marketing your art or marketing yourself as an artist?
Well, we've all heard the please paint this for me and I'll tell all my buddies about you. I'll spread the word.
Never works.
And yeah, I did that a couple times in the beginning, and of course nothing happened. Yeah. But I started putting myself out at bike shows, at car shows, even before I really knew what I was doing, but because I was so determined to figure it out, and to tackle everything and everyone. I've also done charity donations. That's another way to get your name out there. And, at least through a charity donation, like bike rallies and such, the cancer donations are a big one. I was just asked yesterday to donate to the local fire department, their donation. And I'm more than gladly to do that, because something in that event, more people are going to see your work versus your buddy down the road that's just wanting a free paint job.
Yeah, all good advice. Thanks. If people want to get a hold of you, what is are your social media contacts?
My social media contact, I can be contacted by my name, which is Michele Roe, and also at Stab and Cabin Airbrushing, and that's on Facebook.
Great.
And Instagram.
No website?
No website.
Oh, good.
I just never had time.
Good. I thank you, Michele, a lot.
Thank you very much.
This was fun. I'm glad. Thank you for being my second guinea pig.
Thank you for asking me. I appreciate it.
Sure. And if anybody else watching this would like to be interviewed, if you have any advice for beginners, those just starting out in airbrushing, drop me a PM or whatever on Facebook, and I'll be happy to arrange that with you, and we'll get you on film. Thanks,
Sounds
Michele. Good. Have a great evening.
Thanks, Don. You too.
You bet. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.